Okay, so I bought me some Narex mortising chisels a while back ago, and so far I really like these things. They do a really great job. The main one I like to use though is the 1/2 inch. I have a 1/2 inch. I got a 3/8. This right here is the 5/16. I got a 1/4 inch, and I even got a 1/8 of an inch, and then this right here is a 3/16 of an inch. I forget what I paid for these, but these things are really nice. I really like them. Now, of course, with any blade, I've been using this a lot, and this thing is a bit dull, so I am going to sharpen it, show you how I sharpen these things real quick. Now, the back here, you can see I started grinding the back. The backs are pretty well flat, but on this one right here, it was just a little bit off, but I kind of gave up on it because it was a lot of work. But other than that, I've sharpened it before and it came out really fine. Now the sides do have a taper to them. They're not straight, which I kind of liked, because when I was mortising, because the sides are tapered, it made it a lot easier to get the chisel out of the hole. It did a great job on the mortise, and the sides actually were not all tore up for whatever reason. I've had other ones that were straight and you end up tearing them up, and if you get them in crooked like this, and you peel up on it and the sides are straight, they ended up just gouging out the sides over here. But these right here came out really nice. And as you can see, I've done a lot of mortising with these chisels. I've used the 3/8 and the 1/2 inch so far, and let me tell you, they work great. I'm making this frame right here. These are going to be for some coffee table and end tables. I'm going to put some stained glass inside this. But I've done quite a bit. This took a lot. I've got these underneath here as well. But so now you might be thinking, well, this is a lot of work to do by hand, and it was. It took me, I came in here after work, did maybe an hour and a half every day, trying to chisel all the mortises and get the tenons right. But that's the whole point of having a shop and enjoy doing it, is to be able to come out here, relax, and doing it. Yes, I could have got a router out and done it a lot faster, or bought a mortising mortiser, a dedicated mortiser, whatever you want to call it, and done it a lot faster. But the whole point is to come out here and enjoy doing it. I do, however, have my phone out here. It's playing a movie, so when I'm not recording, I play a movie, come out here and work on whatever I want to work on. So that's one of the reasons I really didn't try to do them much faster. I enjoyed doing it. It was fun to do, and I plan on keep doing it that way. Now let's go ahead, and I'm going to get out my diamond stones and get ready and sharpen my 1/2 inch back to being sharp. So these right here are my my sharpening system. This is a 1,000 grit diamond stone with 300 grit on the back of it. This thing works fantastic. This is a 16,000 Shapstone. Or Shapton, but this thing works great as well. I'm looking probably to get one maybe into 3,000 or 4,000 range, and this is a strop. And this right here is what I'm going to be using. I'll be putting some polishing compound on it and a little bit of oil, and this works fantastic. But I'm going to start off with the 1,000 grit here first. I don't need to do the 300. Throw a little bit of water. Now on this water, it's mixed with some type of other solution, so this way, if you notice, I don't have any rust on my stone. But I'm just going to take it and I'm going to place it down. I'm going to take it and then push it down and then just drag it towards me. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the back, but on the back I'm going to, well, let me move everything over. And I'm not really going to try and get the whole back of it. You can see where I started on it and I just kind of gave up. This does take a while, but I'm just going to go like back and forth. Even though on the 1/2 inch one here, it wasn't perfectly flat, but I was using it before I even started grinding the back, and it worked just fine. Now, in order really to get that stuff out of there, I probably should go down to a 300 grit, but that's not really necessary. So now what I'm going to try to do is just take it and start dragging it back to me. I can feel it catching on something, so it's got something on the stone. Just drag it back to me. Now the edge here is all dented up from, and all I've ever done is just cherry with it. So, and I'm pushing down pretty firmly. I'm gonna go back and start doing this. Now the deepest I did a mortise is 1 inch, and that's what I did on these ones I just showed you, was just 1 inch. So I'm not really looking to try and do the whole thing flat. Right now I'm just trying to get rid of that edge. And it looks like it's going away. Now, if you were to take this down like this and push it back this way with the blade contacted, you're probably just going to mess up your edge again. So that's why I'm not doing that. I'm just dragging it to me. Now, this might take a little while, but again, I would be playing a movie as I was out here doing this. I am going to buy a TV and stick out here. Okay, now that I got my edge where I want it, looks good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to, sometimes I don't switch to this stone here, but it just depends. I did a lot to work with, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to this. I need to, if you see this is all dirty and stuff, I need to level this back out. So I'm going to take the 300 grit here and just, and you can see where I grinded into this thing. And I just need to keep going until those are gone. Gonna put back a little bit of water on that. I'm not going to press too hard. I definitely do not want to dig into this stone. These things are expensive. Now I'm just going to take this back side of it, and I'm only going to go in one direction. Now what I probably didn't show in the last one, even though I used this on the very, maybe probably last 10 or 20 strokes, I came straight back. I didn't push on it like that at first like I was. So all I'm doing, and what I did on the other one, is I'm just putting it here, then laying it down flat and pulling it to me. Same thing here, laying it on the bevel, then laying it flat and pulling it to me. And I'm changing the locations of stone so I don't wear one location out. Okay, so now that's good enough right there. But sometimes what I like to do is get my strobe out, which is right here. And you can see that thing's gotten a lot of use. I'm going to take the polishing compound and not to put much because I already got a bunch on there anyway. I'm going to take the oil. Now this is Zen soil. But this stuff really works great. I saw a guy do a video on this and the wear that he was doing 2 bearings, and it hardly had any wear to it compared to a lot of other oils. But this stuff is great. And all I'm going to do is just put maybe, that's it. Smear it around. Take this, same thing. I'm going to drag it back. Yeah, see that right there, just really can polish it up. If I kept going, I could have got a mirror finish all the way across that. And that's only a little bit of the dirt from my towel here. But yeah, looks really good. And of course that really don't matter, it's always the edge, but this thing is back to being sharp. Now as far as in the stroke is concerned, I don't remember what I paid for it. I don't think it was very expensive. These two right here were very expensive. I don't know about the price of them now, but when I bought them, yeah, look at that. If I was to keep going on that, I'd have a mirror finish on that. And I also use this technique on my planer blades. My block plane, number 5.5, my low angle. All right, now let's see what this, let's go ahead and cut us some mortise. Now on my Trent diamond stone here, I still have the case for it. I always put it back in its case. I hardly ever leave it out. And the same thing with my Shapton. I still got the original box that it came in, and I really should probably put it this way. But yeah, I still got the case that it comes in, and these things usually always go back in. Like I said, these things are pretty well expensive. You can see that this thing's beat up. There's no case for that. Okay, so now if you want to know what kind of fluid that I put in here, this is a water mixed with this right here. I forget what the directions say how to mix it. I just dump a little bit in there and then add water to it. But this keeps the diamond stone from rusting, and it works great. I've had that diamond stone for about 4 or 5 years, so this stuff is done really great. I know some people like to use, you know, Windex or something like that, but if you really want to keep that stone, and you do need to wipe it off, which isn't a problem, but this stuff does work great. Okay, we're set up. I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to make this up, really. This thing works great. Now that might be too wide, but we'll just go with the one side of it. We'll see. Nah, it's fine. I'm just going to we'll just make it that long. This is a scrap piece. I don't need this. Now this is a mallet. I built this mallet. These things are holding up fantastic. You can see it's starting to get dirty from my hands. It fits my hands good. I thought this would be heavy at first, but it's really not. It weighs 2.6 pounds. If you look at the end here, it has taken some beating, but it ain't really damaged too bad. And I've done a lot of mortises with these right here so far. So I'm just gonna, and this is a piece of cherry that I'm mortising. Now I have done quite a few mortises. I just want to show you the ends real quick. You can see where it's smashed, but it's really not that bad. Had I used a metal hammer, it would have really tore that up. The ring's not dented or anything like that. So, and of course I'm not swinging this thing very hard. I'm letting the mallet basically do the work. And I hold it up kind of high. If I hold it down here, you can get more leverage, but I hold it up kind of high, because I really don't need to swing 3 pounds to get this thing to work. And as far as the hole being square, or, you know, when you were chiseling, that when I put the tenon in there, that it was crooked or anything like that, that just didn't happen. I don't know if it was, probably because I know how to use one of these. So maybe A little practice might go a long way. But as you can see, it works just fine. If you don't have a set of mortising chisels and you are thinking about buying some, I say these Narex are fine. I do believe I got these from Lee Valley. Now I am looking into getting in some Riker chisels from Lee Valley, and I'm thinking about getting the Narex because I like these so well. And if you look, you can see, I mean, they're coming out of the mortise really good. I'm not really having to fight to get these out. And the thing about it is, like I said, I usually always go 1 inch deep on my mortises. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there is a little bit of a gap here and over here on this. Let me tear this piece out and let's go ahead and get a... All right, now let's take a look at that. But this is as close as the camera is going to get. I got a little gap here and I got a gap on this side, which just works out great. I really like the way that these work. Makes it a lot easier to get in there and scoop out. And you can even square the sides up by just doing that, because this right here is at a 1/2 inch. And that's basically how the blade gets dull. When I'm going like this, and then I pop that piece of wood. But I don't try to do too much. But as you can see, the mallet does great. Now for me, these things work great. I love that they are angled on the sides. It makes it a lot easier to get inside and get the chisel out rather than get the chisel stuck inside there. As far as it being square, you know, like I said, on the way down here, I've never had the problem where it was at an angle. If it was at an angle, it's because I just wasn't paying attention to what I was doing and angled it down when I shouldn't have. And I should have been paying attention, keeping the chisel square as I'm chiseling. I mean, if you've got it crooked and you start doing this, yeah, it's gonna make the mortise crooked. So you want to pay attention and make sure that you do have it pretty well square. If you've been doing it for a while, I mean, really, it's just something that you develop over time. So if you don't have that, just practice at it till you do get it. You'll be just fine. So that ends this episode. If you are looking for a set of these, I do suggest these Narex. They are great. So until next time, I'm Edward Short, the Hoosier Craftsman. Happy and safe woodworking.